Zone.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm Matt in the outdoor Farm Bureau studio here today with you on this Reaction Monday. How was the gridiron? How was old Brooks? Can you imagine how good of a show and how good of a time Chris would have had on his show, JB, if Ole Miss had won and State had lost? But instead, they both lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that's something maybe we're going to both of us get used to. But no, he was in a somber mood when he left the studio today.
He was down.
Yeah, he said, "Man, y'all have a great show. That's the worst show I've ever done."
And that's not true.
Oh no, I didn't think so. I listened to the last 45 minutes of it.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Today, it's just, I think Chris. I think Chris a bigger Ole Miss fan than he lets on sometimes. I just think it really. I just think it really tore him up. Well, but at the same time, though, he halfway predicted it. I listened to part of his show on Friday.
Right.
And he basically was saying, I'm picking Ole Miss because everything in front of my face says I should. He said, but I've been an Ole Miss fan long enough. I really ought to pick Arkansas.
Yeah.
He said, if there's ever a team in a year where you lose it, it'd be Arkansas this year. Well, look, and then State. I didn't start off talking about State because, gosh. And
UGLY.
UGLY, you ain't got no alibi. And to go back to what Chris said about, he used the perfect word to describe their offense, putrid. And I thought, woo, boy, that's a strong word, but doggone, it's accurate. Unfortunately. And the first comment today on the outdoor show, I'm outdoors in this beautiful, beautiful weather. Little sun peeking through this maple tree behind me. The wind is blowing out here on my front porch. Hey, every now and then I move my whole operation, computers, equipment, everything out here, JB. And every now and then the wind blows and leaves fall on the table here with my. It's just like a perfect fall show. Now it is going to warm up, mid 80s, but to me that's cool. Mid 90s is kind of warm. To me, mid 80s is kind of cool. So especially with the wind blowing.
Well, I'll tell you this. I got
just
you pulled
right
up on my Facebook feed, and I'm watching a man who seems to be as relaxed as Jake Wimberly.
I'm laid back. Now I'm not reclining in this rocking chair on my front porch the way he does the chair in the studio.
You got that old-fashioned thermos.
The champ is in the chair. That's what Jake says. Well, for the next 3 hours, I'm in this chair. The first comment we got is on the Periscope feed from our my favorite Bama fan, RLD Studio, who just says, "Roll Tide, fellas," with a little smile on his face. Yeah, look,
they did, man. They surprised the heck out of me. That second half was amazing.
Yeah. Well, it was, and aided by some turnovers. And I think if you look at it in its totality now, is anybody really surprised that Alabama had an advantage and Georgia had a disadvantage because of their quarterback situation? I don't think anybody's really surprised by that, to be totally honest with you. All right, so let me set it up for you. I'm here in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi. I moved it outdoors, out here to the front. The breeze was blowing through. I thought, I'm just going to sit out front and recline somewhat, not Jake Wimberly recline, but recline a little bit here in this rocking chair and enjoy the outdoors on this Reaction Monday. I got hot coffee in the mug here from High Point Roasters in New Albany. I got a mixture of snacks, thanks to the homecoming queen always providing stuff for me. I got pretzels and candy corn. I sure do. And I got a way to communicate with you. We got calls. I'm going to come to the Davini Equipment phone line in a sec. All your texts that are coming through right now on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Check them out, countrypleasin.com. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please. I have some friends, JB, here in Tupelo, the Hertz, friends of our families here. And because of our radio show, they decided to give Country Pleasin' a try. They picked up 2 different flavors. They reported this morning that they have loved it. and that the pineapple is their favorite. And I hear that probably more than anything else. Pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. I will tell you again, I haven't opened the package yet, but Country Pleasing, I got from them a new flavor last week. It is pineapple and jalapeno combined in one flavor. I can't wait to try it. So I'll tell you all about it. All right, here we go. Let's jump into Reaction Monday. First thing, though, I want to say hello to Kelly. Well, she's got a question about State's offensive line. And, Kelly, we'll get into that. State's biggest issues with their offense is offensive line. John says, beautiful day, terrible offense. Hello to Joy on Facebook. Ricardo, thanks. Yes, I'd love to come back on your podcast, the Black Dog Sports Podcast. Looking forward to that. Y'all hit me up. Danny, Bron, Cody on YouTube. I want to get to all of y'all as we're broadcasting outdoors today, enjoying the beautiful weather here in October. Ready, Teddy? Hi to you on the Country Pleasing text line. What up? Real quick, Bully Bill says, any idea when we'll see the new flavors in stores? I don't know, but I promise you, Bill, as soon as I do know, I will pass that along to you, okay? I give you my word on that. As soon as I know that they're available, I'll pass it along. All right, let's start off the phone calls today on the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer. I've got to have a new blower. I had an old one. It was not Kubota or Toro. I think they sell those blowers there at Davini. I got to call you, Jonathan. My blower messed up. I had a backpack blower. It's got a deal going on where it'll run a little bit and then just quit and rattle and make some noise. I just want to get a new one. So I'm going to come see you, Jonathan, and get a new blower. Pick me out a good one, Bobby. Pick me out a good one. First up on the Davini Equipment phone line, 995-1059, Ryan, a.k.a. my favorite actor that nobody talks about. First of all, he's in Home Alone and Home Alone 2. He's in Gone Fishing with Danny Glover. Now, I know he played a role that everybody remembers in the movie Casino, which I cannot stand that movie, but I know he played a strong role. Joe Pesci on the Davini Equipment phone line. Joe, settle us down here on Reaction Monday.
Hey, how you doing? It's me, Joe Pesci. And it's me over here, too. I'm robbing John Madden's Outback bus with Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah. We're about to rob this bus and get us steak and blue and onions. Oh, yeah.
We're getting a good haul over here. We got a blooming onion. We got some steaks, and Al Pacino likes the steaks, don't you, Pacino?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty good. Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Who's that in here? Hey, who's that in here in the bus? Who's in the bus? Go get him, Brett.
Oh, crap, the dog's biting me. Get off my leg, Moss. Get off my leg.
Oh, it's like a knife in the heart. You see, that's why you don't mess with Brett Favre, the guard dog. Or Brett Favre, the real person.
John Madden named his guard dog Brett Favre. Thanks for the call, boys, men, and K9. Thanks for the call on the Davini Equipment on the dog still barking. All right, Lynn is in Western New York. The man is a long way from home, but he's tuning in online somehow, some way, and I really do appreciate it, Lynn. Thanks for calling the Davini Equipment phone. What's up?
How you doing, man? Hell State, that guy is extremely talented.
Isn't he, though?
He's awesome.
He really is.
I mean, he's something serious. Hey, I got to meet your good friend Brandon Walker this weekend at the ball game. I looked over and I seen the Texas A&M girl beside him, and I said, "That's Brandon Walker." But
yeah,
anyway,
he's a hoot. I'm glad you got to meet him.
Well, I didn't bother him much. I did go shake his hand and introduce myself, kind of, but I wasn't going to bother the man. I mean, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But anyhow, I got a question for you about our offensive line play. Because I know we're having trouble, and I understand we're kind of a run block guy. That's what them guys have always known how to do. It's what they've always really done for the most part. But I'm wondering if it got a lot maybe to do with their hands and their feet and them just not really knowing how to use them?
Well, I think, Lynn, that yes, I mean it is a footwork deal sometimes. Other times it is a hand placement deal. And, you know, I made this point in the post-game radio show as well. Like the conversation is so often about, because the coaches have uttered it this way, but and they know it's not this simple. They say, you know, our 5 has to be able to block their 3. And that is true. And it makes it sound worse when you go, well, 5 guys can't whip 3. What's the problem? But when you look at it, because
you got a guard standing there a lot, not touching nobody.
Oh, that's right. You sure do. And here's the thing about it, too. What I was going to say is so often you can narrow it down on one player or the other to just a one-on-one miss. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking about a guard who's got a guy in front of him. So I think sometimes to look at it even more accurately, you're spreading those offensive linemen out in these big splits. So more often there's a one-on-one opportunity here. There's a 2-on-1 here, but they got to hand it off as soon as the linebacker comes, and it becomes a one-on-one. So what I said is way too often State's offensive line is not winning in one-on-one pass rush. And that's kind of a drill that you do a ton of in the spring. You do a lot of that work without pads in your, own personal time in the offseason working and in preseason camp. It's a one-on-one thing. I think about Greg Island, who moved from guard to tackle. So there's you to go back to your original point, footwork, hand placement. There's 3 ways you foul it up right there. If you're capable, if you're physically capable of blocking a guy, well, then if you don't, well, what's the reason? Number 1, it could be a mental thing where you don't know who you're blocking on a particular thing or they confuse you. Number 2, you get your feet too close together, you lose balance, you get dipped one way, now you can't turn your shoulders and get your hand on him the other. Or you do, extend those arms, and he slaps that arm down, puts a spin move on you, and now he's by you and you can't get your hand on him. There's a lot of things in that technique. I just think what's happening, Lynn, is far too often there are one-on-one breakdowns on that offensive line.
One more question about that.
Go ahead.
All right, we got one-on-one questions at breakdowns, but what we've got a lot of times when it's just 3 coming, sometimes they sent 4, but when it's just 3 coming, you got a guy on the center, a guy on the tackle, and a tackle. And several times, you've seen both guards really didn't have nobody to block. Are they not supposed to peel off and go help and let the other guy go back and circle behind him or something?
Yeah, really good point. That's right. Like there are plays where they only rush 3. There's no linebacker also coming late or anything like that. So you turn and you find the first guy to help, and you help him, right? And I think
we're not helping.
Right, and that's what you're saying. You know why? Confusion. There's just way too much confusion on what seems like it ought to be simple. I think, guys are playing tight and not playing loose because they're confused too much. I don't know how you explain that, but I think one way that you can explain it, and these are facts, is, you're making a wholesale change what you're asking these guys to do versus anything they've done in their career as a player, and you're doing it on limited time. It sounds like an excuse, but it is reality. But, man,
that's a fact.
It is, but it sure isn't coming together very fast. I know that. And, Lynn, it is true that you don't have any offensive linemen who did a whole lot of this type of pass blocking in high school or previously in college. It's brand new to all of them. And
that style.
Not that style. You're exactly right. And, man, you and I both see it. At times it looks awful.
You'll get it right. I trust him. I trust them all. Hell, State, we're going to be all right.
Thanks.
I enjoy the show, Matt. Y'all keep doing it.
Thanks for the call, Lynn. Appreciate you listening. Way, way, way up the road. Res Dog on the Country Pleasing text line at 885-ESPN. It's a 601 number, 885-ESPN. Res Dog says, does MSU have an offensive lineman that can at least accidentally get in the way of a defensive lineman? Feel pretty bitter about that. Donnie sent me a picture that says the jalapeno and pineapple is good. He's got jalapeno and pineapple, jalapeno and cheddar, andouille, and the original. And I'm a huge fan of the original smoked sausage flavor as well from Country Pleasing Sausage. Try it if you ever get the opportunity. Real quick, and then I'm coming back to the phone. QB1 on the Country Pleasing text line says, Will Rogers looked good, but I don't. What do you say? You don't want him to play against Bama because our offensive line can't block squat, and that is a worry. You know, pressure, run-throughs, leak in your protection, that leads to mistakes by the quarterback. It contributes to it. The thing about it is, you do have to manage it very carefully with a freshman quarterback as a coach, because you don't want things to happen to him that you can't get out of his memory, that affect his ability to play going down the road, that affect his ability to, play free and pull the trigger. You don't want to force him into some early mistakes, and he never forgets it, and it's hard to get out of it. And look, I've been there and all that kind of stuff. At the same time, when you saw him go into ball game the other day, and especially on that touchdown drive, you did notice that, to the naked eye, a difference between him and the lack of hesitation that he was playing with versus the hesitation that KJ Costello is and was playing with. Holding the ball a half to a second too long for KJ, not seeing things clearly, not valuing the football. All right? I mean, take care of it. You got to eat it sometimes, and you can't give up a fumble on your own end of the field where they can return it down there to the goal line very easily just because you're frustrated you're getting sacked. I mean, you just can't pull those things. Well, Will goes in, and he was a half second early or on time with the reads. And even though it wasn't pretty, like one time he's getting sacked, they're dragging him to the ground, but he didn't hesitate to go ahead and just unload it. Incomplete at the feet of a guy out there, so it's an incomplete pass. We come back, we run third down without losing any yardage. I think he just showed that maybe it's because he's been watching. Maybe it's because he's a freshman, but he's able to go in there and just pull the trigger, make good decisions, cut your losses when you can, and that all of a sudden helped the pass protection. You notice that? When they, even if they're collapsing the pocket but they can't get there and hit you, or they see you get the ball out, or just before they get a sack you unload it and it's just an incomplete pass, that frustrates the defense. It wears them out. If you're holding it a little longer, giving them free shots at you as a quarterback, that fires them up. The quarterback doing what he's supposed to do, as much as anybody else on the field, can help his offensive linemen. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Davini Equipment phone line, Ponto hanging on after what was a rough weekend around here. What's up, Ponto?
Well, missed your show Friday. I'm disappointed. But listen, I'm related to Mike. My residence is Leech Beach. True, that's true. Look it up, Leech Beach. But don't you play to win the game?
Yes. You
They
play
ain't doing that.
to win the game. That's right.
They are not doing that. No, they're not. But listen, I didn't see the game. I heard it on the radio. I watched Ole Miss and the Hogs. But definitely when I saw him, something is wrong with your quarterback. He's not zipping the ball. I'm talking about KJ. He's not zipping it.
Yeah.
Something wrong.
Yeah.
Not like it was against LSU.
You know what, Ponto? JB and I were talking about that after the Kentucky game. There were some early throws in that Kentucky game where, it just had no velocity on the ball, and you couldn't figure out if it was, if he's having a shoulder issue or something was hurt. But, he just has not looked the same since week one. And, we've gone through the million reasons why we think that is, Ponto. I just know how it feels as a quarterback to get in a bad way. Mentally, you're guessing on everything. You're not sure. You don't trust anything. Protection seems like it breaks down quicker. You're actually holding the ball because your reads are a little slower. You're wanting to see guys come open before you turn it loose instead of anticipating it. That slows everything down. And then, you feel like you can't even throw a pass without it getting tipped around because you've sort of mentally talked yourself into being slow. And that's what it looks like for me. That's what KJ looks like for me. And unfortunately, it's hard to play your way out of it. About the only way to get rid of that is to have to stand there and watch somebody else play for a while.
Well, I hope so. But, and I'll shut up. You got Snuff and you got Kylan Hill. You got two studs. You're not even using them.
Who was the first name?
I don't get it.
What was the first name you said?
Garrett Snuff. Trader.
Is that his nickname?
Snuff Trader. You're not even using him. He's a stud. I guarantee you.
Well, hold on, Ponto. You've got my attention, though. Is that his nickname, or did you just come up with that?
Garrett Snuff.
Why do you call him Snuff?
Garrett. Garrett Snuff. It's been around for 150 years.
I don't know.
Anybody named Garrett?
Oh, I see. So that's a
Like
brand.
Levi Garrett.
It's a brand
Yes,
of
that's
snuff.
Levi,
Okay.
yes, he's Snuff. Snuff
I
Slater.
didn't, well, I'm
But
sorry. I
he's a
didn't know.
stud. He can play. He can play. These guys are winners. And obviously, what did Hill gain last year? 1,200 yards, whatever it was. And he's not even using it. I mean, like I said, go back to where we started. You play to win the game.
Right.
You know, not to lead the nation in passing. You play to win the game. And again, you know, I live at Leach Beach. I'm related to him. But they're staring at 3-7. That's what they're looking at.
Well, who are the three going to be? You know, that's the
Well,
thing.
hallelujah for Vanderbilt and Ole Miss would be 3.
Yeah, that's it. And look, the way they're playing right now, look, if they don't make a marked improvement between now and those ball games on offense, those are going to be struggles. You can't go out here and put up 7 points on offense one week and get shut out on offense the next and beat anybody. You know, you got to go score points. Hey, Ponto, thanks for the call, man. Have a great Monday.
Bless.
God bless you as well. In the Farm Bureau studio, in the wonderful, beautiful outdoors of Mississippi on a fall day, enjoying God's creation with you on this Reaction Monday.
And I'm in a cubicle.
I'm not rubbing it in, I promise, JB. I'm just reporting the facts. We report, you decide. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or
The Zone and check it out online now at thezone1059.com.
All right, back with you here, rolling along on a Reaction Monday, and man alive, the reaction is pouring in. It is so great to hear from y'all on shows like this. All of your texts, I really do appreciate them. Everybody tuning in on the live stream on lots of different places, Facebook, Periscope, over here on the YouTube live stream as well. Lots of comments on that as well. On Facebook, Danny says, hey, Matt, licking my wounds today here in Ringgold, Georgia. Yeah, I know a lot of fans are. Braun on Facebook said, Matt, I'm no football guru. When 5 are unable to block 3 and there's so little time before the defenders are in the backfield, what kind of offense could possibly be effective? Yeah, it starts on the line of scrimmage. That's where it starts. And if it ends right there, then everything else ends right there. Quarterback, receivers, running backs have a lot harder time figuring it out. And there are too many breakdowns, right? Like, you're not winning the majority of the battles. And you want to move the ball down the field and go score a bunch of points, you got to have some drives where you don't have any busts on the offensive line. And I think that's the issue right now. It's not every play, which shows you it's not like, lack of capability. It's, the inability to go out there and run 5 to 8 to 10 plays in a row every time without a breakdown on the offensive line or elsewhere. And that's what's causing you to not be able to score any points. And so when coaches say consistency, it's true. It absolutely is true. But, that's why you pay those coaches all this money, is to figure out a way to put something together that players can do consistently.
Right. Well, and the other part of it is, on the other side of the ball, man, those guys are just pinning their ears back, to use the phrase, and coming at it.
That's right. They're playing really good football on the defensive side. And look, A&M's offense is not bad. They didn't just go in there and go off for 450 yards or anything like that. Of course, they didn't really have to. But, with that back and Spiller and that offensive line at A&M, they knew going into the game. Zach Arnett said going into the game, this, from an offensive line standpoint, this may be the toughest challenge we get all year right here. One of the toughest for sure, and it was. And they gave up over 100 yards rushing for the first time this year, and a lot of that was on the edge. They didn't give a lot of rushing yards in the middle, but guys bounced it and you lose some contain. But for the most part, State's defense, look, let's just say it like this, JB.
Yeah. State's
defense, Zach Arnett and that defense, have kept the team and the school and the university from being utterly embarrassed the last 3 weeks.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Because if
Matter
they
of fact,
don't,
they played well enough. If the offense had played halfway decent, we could have won, one of those 2 games.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, on the other side of that coin is, if they don't play, they have played like a top 5 in the SEC defense.
I agree.
That's what they look like, and that's what they are week after week. And if they haven't, you've been absolutely embarrassed and run off the field for 3 straight weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's where you are if they don't play as well as they have. To put it in perspective, I think that's accurate.
It could have been like Georgia State, Georgia Tech, and Clemson.
Yeah. How about this? And you think about fans. Mark on Facebook says that he drove all the way from Rogers, Arkansas, to see firsthand just how slow our offensive line was. Can you imagine? Driving all the way from Rogers, Arkansas to State to watch that.
They have a cool flea market festival up there called War Eagle.
Oh, really?
Which I think is very interesting.
Yeah, in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Rogers, right outside of Fayetteville. It's pretty close to Walmart country. Well, I guess all of Arkansas sort of is Walmart country.
Yeah. Give a shout out to our man Hogjow today. Huh?
Yes. Hats off to you.
He's endured a lot of criticism about his home state and about the university, and he's been very humble and taken it like a man, and has not been overreactionary on this Overreaction Monday. But just, congratulations to him.
Absolutely. Man, and they're playing solid football. They tackle, they hustle, they're physical, they're tightly wound on offense and know who they are, what they can't do, what they can do. They just go out and do it. And defensively, they just run to the ball and make plays. Arkansas is fun to watch all of a sudden. And so hats off to them. Nobody saw that coming. You're right, JB. My neighbor, you can't see it on the camera, but right in front of my nose, it's about 60 yards that way is his front door.
Right.
And he's a big Arkansas fan.
Yeah.
And yesterday.
And they swept the state of Mississippi.
Yeah. By the way, and I meant to tell you this, but they're big Arkansas fans. They have this beautiful yard. And about 2 months ago, they had the sign out front in the yard that says Happy Anniversary. And I saw him out in the yard looking at it. I didn't want to get close, we're distancing, whatever, but I talked to him from a distance. And it was their 60th wedding anniversary.
Wow.
Okay, 60th. And I asked him, I said, well, did you get presents for each other? And he goes, no, we got cards. He said, but you know what we did? I said, what? He said, we both got each other a card for our 60th wedding anniversary. We got each other the same card.
Oh, wow.
Didn't even know it. Didn't even plan it. They just handed the cards off.
That osmosis, man.
Yeah.
You've been together that long, you start thinking alike.
Well, anyway, and she yesterday was out in the neighborhood walking, and she was wearing her Razorbacks shirt, proudly displaying it. And I got a friend here in town who is a doctor, and he's an Arkansas guy. And, man, we got a picture yesterday. I'm not going to name him. People might figure it out. But we got a picture yesterday of him posing on his front porch like Captain Morgan with his leg propped up, wearing this bright red Arkansas Razorbacks blazer that had the logos all over the blazer, like the Razorback logo. He was just proudly, basking in the glory of sweeping the state of Mississippi that he's now living in. For those of you in the live stream, I see all the comments. It's impossible for me to get to every single one of them. Tyler asking $5 million a year for this. There's a conversation also going on about Bama, Georgia over there. The false positive for Nick Saban, huh? That's how it turned out, isn't it?
Yeah.
False positive. Let's see here. The Chewmeister on the live stream says, it was 3 negative tests from 3 different days. It followed SEC protocol. Don't know what else they can do there. Some people questioning the how and the why and where Nick Saban got himself cleared of COVID 3 days after being diagnosed. Louvier.
Well, we'll know in 14 days if it was bad.
We sure will, won't we? If they have an outbreak, they better not. Put it that way. Louvier on the Country Pleasing text line. The text line is 885-ESPN. That's a 601 number. Says, I made a pot of jambalaya this weekend with chicken thighs and country pleasing andouille. Delicious. I bet it was, Louvier. Wish I'd been there with you for sure. Matt in Brandon says, Matt, do you have any hope with Rogers at quarterback? He seems to get the ball out quicker. I'm sure the O-line can appreciate that. And that's what I was touching on. I think right now he definitely gives you a chance. He showed you that he has, really good arm strength for a true freshman. He made that touchdown play to Malik Heath was basically the sideline throw, one hash to the other side of the field, and it's a pretty long throw. You got to get it over a defender's arms, and that's a great throw, hard throw. He showed you can do it. And so getting it out on time, being decisive and while protecting the ball will just make all the difference in the world for that offense right now and for that team. They need to go out and just take care of the ball for a whole game and then figure out how to win. Unnamed texter says, stop doing the impressions guy. It sucks. That's the first negative on the impressions I've heard. All the other stuff I've heard is positive. Hog Jowl, Country Pleasing text. I'm grateful to the Hogs. They play really hard, and the coaches have instilled a winning attitude. I just hate it that there are these. I just hate it that there are those this morning that still have to diss the Hogs. Hashtag Traylon Burks is a stud. Listen, they have done a phenomenal job, and it. You know, I think what it does too is it really does shed a light, doesn't it, Hog Jow, on, you know, each situation. It's like snowflakes; they're all different, and they all have to be treated differently. And the situation the last couple of years at Arkansas, I mean, it under the previous coach, it looked so terrible. And there was one of the narratives was how void of talent they were, and it turns out that was not their biggest issue, was it? As it turns out, time, as they say, that stuff comes out in the wash. Excuse me. You let a old school physical style football coach with energy who they like and want to play for come in and surround himself with two of the brighter coaches on each side of the ball, Barry Odom on defense and then the Bryles guy on offense, man, who they also enjoy playing for, know what they're doing, and are motivated. And just basically go back and instill the basics, right? Teach and coach the fundamentals and having some fun in doing those things right. Enjoying the things that got you into football to begin with, tackling, hitting, competition, and just ramp that up, feed off of that, you know? And probably it's one of those things where, you know, that loss to Georgia in that first ball game was a confidence builder for them. And they've done a good job of building off of that also. So hats off to Arkansas. They're fun to watch right now. Ready Teddy says, I understand that Kirby Smart had to continue to play Jake Fromm, but Georgia's national championship got lost in the move from Athens to Columbus, Ohio. Well, yeah. You know, but still, and I know you had some turnovers, but still your defense that was supposed to be all-world went and gave up 40-something to Alabama. How many people are you going to beat playing top teams giving up 40-something points? It's a team game. It's not. They don't have just an issue at quarterback. They have an issue with going on defense at the worst times. They've done that a bunch under Kirby Smart. I'm Matt in the outdoor studio, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams Summertime in Mississippi, country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing Sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones.
Talking more great sports for you, Mississippi.
Online transmission is ready, sir.
Live online at thezone1059.com and
keep your radio turned on
to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
All right, back with you, rolling along here in the first hour on this Reaction Monday. JB, I've got myself positioned when the wind kicks up like it is right now. It's kind of blowing in out of the north.
Yeah, I can hear it a little bit through your mic, and it just reminds me how mad I am about having to sit inside.
He sounds just like Jake. Well, that's what I was wondering. I hope it wasn't too bad, because I kind of have myself positioned where my body is blocking the mic from the wind for the most part.
Just how big a boy are you?
Yeah. Well, maybe not big enough if you're hearing it. I eat a few more of these candy corn. I'll get there, though. I promise you. I'm going to get fat on candy corn this Halloween season. It's scary around here, though. State and Ole Miss taking it on the chin. I mean, I don't know that if we step back and just glance over all the dirty details, JB, if we just look at the overall,
right?
I don't know that we ought to be all that surprised. Now, State's offense has been worse than we thought it would be. For the most part, outside of the first game, they were better than we thought it would be in the first game.
Yeah, I think if we had lost the first game, or when I say we, people in Mississippi State loses the first game. If they win one of the next three, it doesn't seem as bad, but because they played so doggone well, or maybe it's just they showed how bad LSU really is.
Right.
And
right.
I don't know.
That's
but it's frustrating for the state because people need football, and for whatever reason, we feel like we have to be good.
Yeah.
And in order to have a good time. And look, man, Leach is stubborn. He's going to do it his way. I mean, that's why he's an attorney, for goodness sake. So just be patient and let it happen. I think you've nailed it with your take on the offensive line and Costello. We know that Arnett's doing a good job with the defense. Matt Corral, if you run that kind of offense just like Leach's, you may throw 6 picks in a game.
That's it.
So
sometimes you go, well, if we're asking you to throw 6 touchdowns in a game or try to, we may have to put up with several interceptions. That's kind of the way that works. What I was going to say too is, Ole Miss's defense maybe a little worse than people thought it would be, but overall you're sitting there at about what record a lot of people thought you would, with no spring practice and coaching changes and philosophy changes and offense changes and quarterback changes and all that kind of stuff. Right. So everybody's a work in progress except for Alabama. And, we'll see about Florida, but they've got the loss and now the COVID stuff. Tennessee gets popped and Georgia loses. Georgia's still the what looks like class of the East. You know, if Kentucky continues to get 4 or 5 interceptions a ball game, they may be your East champion.
Yeah, that game shocked me.
Shocked everybody.
I was surprised by that one, and I have to say, I picked Georgia, and I'll take the egg on my face because that was a great football game. Not if you're a Georgia fan, but I just was really, really impressed with Mac Jones.
Yeah. John on the live stream says, out of the new coaching hires, no one expected the new Arkansas coach to outdo the well-known Lane and Leach. I mean, you think about that. Blind Squirrel says, criticism of Georgia's defense is fair. As you said, you can't give up 40 and win a big game, and that's true. I mean, you know, sometimes your quarterback and your offense will turn it over. Is that an automatic excuse to run out on the field and let them in the end zone? It's really not. Now, I know there's an excuse built in of why you got there and you're still tired from the previous series and now you're on a shorter field, but, you know, championship teams figure out a way and you go play a big ball game and somehow, some way give up 40-plus to the other guys, then it's not just a quarterback issue. You do have a quarterback issue, but that's understood also. You know, you went the transfer route with 2 guys, and neither one of them can play for you. One left, one there, can't play. So that's kind of understood. Well, defense got to be good too. Stetson Bennett, he turned it over, but he's got nothing to do with the defense giving up 40 points.
And Saban remains undefeated.
Undefeated.
His hirelings.
All right, Jackson Mailman on the Country Pleasing text line, 885 ESPN. Says, has Leach tried closing the splits down to help the blocking schemes? That I don't know, Jackson Mailman. It goes back to being willing to try something else. Look, when you hired Mike Leach, you kind of know what you're getting. You know what you're going to get. And that is whatever amount of struggle and time it takes to get his team doing what he wants to do, that's what he's going to do. Well, Matt, what if it takes a year? What if it takes 2? Well, what if? You knew what you're getting when you hired him, period. With you're making the bet that whenever he does develop it, whenever that is, maybe immediately, maybe not, that it's going to pay off, and you're going to be throwing the ball around in such a way as you never have at State before. That's the bet when you go and you hire Mike Leach. But you know, there's the other side of this. We go, yeah, well, in reality, and I tend to fall this way, and I'll admit it. You know, you go, in reality, there's no guarantee that the sun doesn't come tumbling out of the sky this time next year, and we don't even get to play 2021. Let's win in 2020. I may get hit by a bus next week. Let's win this week. To heck with next week. You know, I kind of fall in that. And when people look at the job that a Dan Mullen did, what has been Dan Mullen's MO that he's been as good as anybody in the country at doing? It is take over any group of players, take any quarterback, any offensive line, start figuring out what they can do, and then coach them up in a way and just go do that and do it successfully. He's had zone read offenses with successful fast quarterbacks. He's had power rushing offenses that involve the quarterback. He's had air it out offenses throwing the ball over the field with a big, tall pocket passer quarterback, Tyler Russell. Now this guy at Florida. He'll just go, okay, what do we have? Oh, well, this is the kind of offense we need to run because they can do this. They can't do that. You go win 10 games with Chris Relf. Run the ball on 4th down all day long with your quarterback. So he is he's the clay that can mold and shape according to the situation that he's in. When you hire Leach, that's not what he's going to do. Not what he's ever done. That's not why you hire him. You don't hire Mike Leach to come and coach your team to, figure out, well, we could be a good, running team. We'll just go with these guys. I'll just go coach them. We'll run it 50 times a game. It's not why you hire Mike Leach. You're going to throw it. He'll tell you, we're going to throw it. Well, it's not working right now. Well, his approach is, well, maybe not. I guess it's not working right now. It'll work some days, just not right now. I mean, I hate to use the ism, but it is what it is. Jessica said, what happened to tackling? And then says, Kylan Hill needs to step up and stop acting like he's owed a position on the field. Yeah, Kylan was basically suspended and not with the team on Saturday at the game, and now I think the question going forward is he back? Is he back? When will he be back? Is he coming back? What is the issue? Don't think it's injury related or sickness. I think it was just strictly a butting of the heads, and he missed the ball game.
Well, Dylan and Marks, I thought they played very well for true freshmen in that kind of environment.
Well, and they did. You're right, considering all. But it hurts that you don't have experienced backs on the field, because they had some misses in pass protection a couple times as running backs. And they did a really nice job of the ball in their hands, but there were a few plays where you look at it and you go, well, look, if that's Kylan Hill, he'd have made that first guy miss and may go out and run the rest of the football team. So I thought for what they were asked to do, they did very well. But
so they're mimicking the offensive line a little bit?
Well, yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like it was a bunch. I'm thinking of one specific play in my head.
Right.
I think it was the first half sack where they had the back on the edge trying to help, and it put him one-on-one because the tackle stepped down inside, and the Marks just had no chance against the big guy.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. QB1 says, but Hale Arnett, he's done great. That's I think for State, that's the disappointing thing about all this is, has Mike Leach, had any defenses at this caliber doing this kind of stuff at any of the other schools that he's coached? If you could pair that with a capable offense, it feels about like 2018 all over again, first year Joe Moorhead, except that defense had 3 first-round picks on it. And you go, man, if you could just pair it with a halfway consistent passing game on offense, you could go out and really make some noise. But truth is, that 2018 team overall may have been a much more talented team than this one was. Anthony from Tupelo on a Country Pleasing text says, so I'm just getting to turn the show on, so if you've talked about this, just pass it. What do you think it means when Leach says what they are seeing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays is not what they are seeing on game days? Is that a lack of confidence or something else? Anthony, that worries me, if I'm being honest. If I go, okay, now I'm not an analyst, I'm just strictly putting on my fan hat. It worries me as a fan whenever I hear those things, because the most important thing that any coaching staff does is self-evaluate. Self-diagnose. We could also turn this into a personal conversation. I think it's the most important thing we do as people is look in the mirror and accurately self-diagnose, okay? And it's just like anything. You're trying to improve and get better or fix. You take your car to the mechanic. If they misdiagnose what's wrong with the car on the front end, it doesn't matter how much money you spend on it, how much work they do, you're fixing all the wrong stuff. It's still not going to work. Self-diagnosis. And when you come out of practice and you don't seem to have a good handle on where you actually are in relation to your competition, that's worrisome. It really is. Hour 1 has flown by. I hadn't even got close to all the messages. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at state, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
To the Matt Wyatt Show. Live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, welcome in on this Reaction Monday. Your reaction, my reaction, our reaction to what happened here on this Monday in the beautiful, wonderful, cool, breezy, sunny, gorgeous outdoor Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. I moved outside today. I just couldn't stand it anymore, being cooped up inside.
Had to get away from the snakes.
That's it. Had to get away from the snakes, so I just came outside. And every now and then the breeze kicks up. The sun has kind of moved over and is now shining down. I'm telling you what, this may be a permanent move right here, JB. Till it gets cold anyway.
That very cool black shirt you have on, that absorbs some warmth as well.
Yeah. Get the walking bully on it. I got this shirt. See that? See the walking bully on there? I got it from the Mississippi State University golf course. And it's not like one of those cheap iron-on, stick-on things either. It's embroidered on there, the walking bully logo. Got this shirt and this hat, this throwback Bulldogs script hat from the Mississippi State University golf course. Look them up online on Twitter at HailStateGC. Get your stuff there. They got the best stuff for sure. Faux show, as they say. All right, so here we are, Reaction Monday. A lot went on. I'm not talking about the Braves. Seen it enough. Kind of knew what was going to happen when they threw out first pitch. Enjoyed watching it, but hey, it is what it is. You're a Braves fan. Just kind of give up. That's what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah, I stayed up till the bitter end.
I did too. Okay.
Till started the end. To text you, but I didn't want to wake you up.
Yeah,
I was going to rant a little bit.
I probably wouldn't have responded. I was in a bad mood. No, but seriously, this is what happens when you're a Braves fan, a State fan, and a Chiefs fan. Chiefs win the Super Bowl for the first time in your lifetime. You can just go ahead and give up on the rest of it. The rest of it's going to be painful. Okay, that's the way the sports world works on you. I should have seen that coming. All right, let me start you off here, hour 2 on the Country Pleasing text line. Send your texts to me there at 885-ESPN, 601 number 885-ESPN, or 885-3776. Sean texted the show and he said, Matt, does KJ possibly have an injury we don't know about? Doesn't seem to have the arm strength as he did in the LSU game. If there is an injury, I don't know. My thing is, if there was an injury of some sort, after the rash of turnovers in games 2, 3, and more in game 4, but especially games 2 and 3, it seems to me if there was an injury, they would have already gotten him off the field, okay, because the turnovers were just through the roof, as you know. So it's hard for me to add those things up, but yes, I've seen it like you have. There's been some throws you go, wait, boy, the arm strength isn't there. JB, the out route you and I talked about, and that throw to his right in the Kentucky game where the ball just, I don't know if the ball was wet or what the problem was, but it certainly didn't have it. The interception he threw from midfield trying to pump it into the end zone to Osiris Mitchell, he never really got it back there to him.
As one of our callers said, he has not been the fair flinger of footballs since the LSU game.
No, he hasn't. He has not. Unnamed texter said, this entire football season feels like a throwaway. Not because of our record. It is just so strange. It's like it doesn't count. I must admit, now, I think I'm trying my best to be non-hypocritical because if State, for instance, had, they beat LSU, and if they just continued to beat everybody with 400 or 500 yards passing each week since then, might feel differently about it. But still, I agree with you in that even then, something's – it's just so different, right? It's just so odd. These last the two home games for State, Arkansas and then this past week, walking into the stadium and there's nobody there on campus. Nobody. And you're up in the booth and there's nobody there. Half the staff working as normal. Game starts. It just feels so different. There's that lack of that heightened intensity and adrenaline and all that, okay? It's just not there. You can't manufacture that Now, I do agree with you. Sven says on the live stream, it's still football and I enjoy it. I'm the same way, and I think we're all that way. It's still football and we enjoy it. The most normal football feeling I've had, JB, this entire fall has been going to those Friday night games. And like Friday
By the way,
night.
it was good to see you, man.
Yeah,
hadn't seen you in quite a while. Been about 6 months.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Get to bump into Beaver and see you there.
And then you saw Chris Rock in the
Wayne Madkin, yeah, he was in the press box at MRA for the MRA prep game. He was doing some radio for the guys upstairs there. It was good to see him.
I showed that tweet that you sent out to my youngest son. He goes, "Man, how does he know him?" I said, "They played together." He said, "He didn't play at Mississippi State." I said, "Wayne Madkin sure did." He goes, "Oh, that's Wayne Madkin."
He thought it was Chris Rock. I'm telling you, he looks like Chris Rock. He
looks
like
about 6 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old when you guys were there.
Okay. Yeah, well, he wouldn't know then.
Oh.
Well, look, they had a phenomenal crowd and atmosphere and everything at MRA for that prep game on Friday night. It was a great game. And I say great game. I guess it was great early, and then MRA pulled away. They are so good. But, a lot of the high schools have had more people there. Therefore, it kind of feels more normal, the way the games are and all. Those have been a lot of fun. I can honestly say, results notwithstanding, that the college games, for me, and it is work, but it has just felt like work. That's just what it has felt like. The trip to LSU in the first game, Arkansas the first home game, and then Kentucky, and then back home for A&M. It just has felt like work. Going to those high school games on Friday nights has been a blast, and I haven't gotten that. I haven't come away from the college games going, "Oh boy, that's a blast." No, honestly, it's felt like work, and that's okay. And I'm like you, I'm thankful to have it.
Right.
But it is not the same.
A lot of other stuff you could be doing that wouldn't be near as enjoyable or the same venue.
Sure,
but,
exactly.
But look, man, and like I said a couple of times, Beaver and Brooksy made fun of me, but that's okay. But I mean, these hometown heroes things, folks out there, if you're listening and you're on Facebook, go to Matt Wyatt Media on your Facebook and pull up all these hometown heroes things. If you haven't seen them, you are doing yourself a disservice if you are a high school football person, or if you just Mississippi small town communities rallying. It's something that I've found just to be very enlightening and positive amongst all this other mess that's going on.
Yes. And you know what, JB?
I think it's
appreciate
because it feels the most normal.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that so much there at the end. That it.
Yeah.
What was it you said about it's? It seems normal with all the mess that's going on.
Right. I mean, the college stuff, like you're saying, is more like a job now. But now, when you can go back, I don't want to say trying to capture that innocence again.
Yeah.
But it does remind you of the things that maybe sometimes we've taken for granted.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's why I'm so motivated and was so motivated initially to do that series of videos myself, just personally, JB, because it's not like nobody's telling me to do that. It's not. It's not sponsored.
Well, it's a lot of work too, man. I
mean, but I love
the quality of the video you're doing and the angle shots and everything that you're getting. It's almost like you've got a crew of about 4 or 5 people, helping you, and then you microsize it down to about 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a great watch.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, and like I say, I love doing it. Okay, so it's not like where I love the challenge of doing that. It's a creative outlet for me. I did feel like there's a need. There are a lot of people telling the college stories. There aren't a lot of people telling the high school stories. And I felt like I was one of these people that over the years, over the last 10 to 15 years, JB, I've sort of taken the high school level and the experience and everything goes along with it. I've taken it for granted. You know what I mean? Or not giving it its due. And
well, too many people look at high school football and think, it's all about getting to the next level.
Yeah,
man. If you're a good athlete, but as I was talking with Kyle at Live Oaks yesterday, his son's playing quarterback at Mississippi College, and they dressed out in pads for the first time, on Saturday, and he said the quarterbacks were doing Oklahoma. You know, but you think about that, and you go back to those times when, yeah, I mean, it was just innocent, and I know watching my kids play, you know, football growing up all the way through high school, those are their friends that they grew up with, elementary school, junior high, and high school, and I think that's another thing about it that just, you know, is a tie that binds people together.
Absolutely. Well, and to me, I am so intrigued by and fascinated with the story of and now this is hypothetical, but it applies everywhere, JB. The story of the kid who, you know, born and raised in that particular community, and it goes back 3-4 generations. You know, his great-grandparents lived there, all that kind of stuff. Right. He grows up in that school, and he's a star on the high school football team, and they win, but he's undersized, you know, so, you know, Alabama doesn't come beating his door down. In fact, within 5-6 years after his high school career is over, he's just basically running a farm there in his home community, you know, and now he attends the games, you know, but every time he attends the game, you know, he gets that shiver up his back, and his hair on the back of his neck stands up every time, you know, the guys start putting their hand down and are fixing to snap the ball, because that was his football experience, and he remembered it, and it meant that much to him, you know, and now he's watching his kid line up and do that. I'm fascinated by that stuff.
Yeah,
and that's really what it's all about.
I was fortunate enough to hang out with some of my buddies this weekend and watch some of the Ole Miss and State game, and they're guys that I actually played 6th, 7th, 8th grade football, basketball, baseball with growing up, and we found ourselves laughing so hard about, you know, one of the guys was the quarterback, and I was the kicker and receiver, and the other guy was the tailback, and just laughing and talking about all those things that when they're happening, you don't really think about it. It's just part of life, and then you grow up and you go, man, I love my friends, I really do.
That's right,
and they energize me.
And so you would absolutely give everything you've got to go back and do it again.
You're dang right I would.
Yeah, I would too. Same thing. Matt.
Hopefully I'd be a little better than I was.
But you wouldn't, because you'd be young again. What is it they say? You know, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if I did know then.
If I knew then what I know now.
What I know now. I was trying to get it. There was a song there, but I was missing it. Okay. Country Please and text line. Slippery When Rhett says, that was my first time for a game in Starkville, and you guys have a really nice environment. Too bad they didn't win, but it was nice to see Mississippi's finest on display when the protesters came out. The play of the game was the highway patrolman who ran a 4.640 from the 20-yard line past the 50 and tackled the poor protester. Now, let me see here. I've gotten a million texts about it, including from him, the highway patrolman himself, and I had his name here. I just want to make sure I get it right, because after the game, Bart and I said, "Look, that might be the Built Ford tough play of the game," because his hat didn't even come off. Ran a 4.6 form tackle, and then they dragged her off by her 2 feet, like caveman style. It was a sight to see. Rhett, for all the world, and of course now internet fame as well. All right, let's go to the Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Adam, hanging on. What's up, Adam?
No, not much. Riding down the beautiful coastal connection in Alabama.
Attaboy.
Hey, Matt, I got a question for you, man. Why, man, dude, I have never seen us where we couldn't even score a point hardly, man.
Oh, I mean, well, no, they couldn't. It's been just pitiful.
Let me ask you something. If you can't run your offense that you're accustomed to running in other programs, why don't you work with what you got?
Yeah, well, maybe you don't. You know, what if after what if after 3 decades of coaching one offense, you don't know how to coach anything else?
Well, I hadn't thought about it that way, but Matt,
I was just bringing
I
up
don't
a
know
point.
about you, man. Matt, these transfer quarterbacks from other universities, they just don't work out in the SEC.
Hey, listen, Adam, you're bringing that up, and that's the thing. They're great kids. I don't have anything against them whatsoever, none whatsoever, about the kids looking for an opportunity, whether like, Stevens last year and Costello this year. But I started to think about that, Adam, how, Dan Mullen never took a transfer quarterback the entire time he was there. His approach was, I'm going to coach the ones who are here, and then we'll just sign some, and we'll coach them, and we'll play them. And I used to wonder it, at times while he was the coach at State, names would pop up, and you thought, oh, boy, that would make sense. They just never did it. They never really seemed to show a whole lot of interest in it. And I think, I'm inclined to think, and it's a very old-fashioned point of view, that if you can take someone who is there and has been there or signed there, and all that kind of stuff, who, is one of two things. Either A, they have been in the locker room with these guys for several years, or B, they are going to be in the locker room with these guys for several years. Then it's almost like you're better off investing all your time and effort in that individual versus the short-term stopgap, because there are look at Georgia. There are so many examples, more so than the success stories, where it has felt like it has been a bit of a swing and a miss. I don't want to say a waste of time, because that's an incredibly negative connotation, but just a swing and a miss. Adam, thanks for your call. On the Divinity Equipment phone, y'all want to call me like Adam did, it's 995-1059, a 601 number, 995-1059. On the text line, says, roll Tide. That defense got exposed for Georgia. Jason in Flagstaff, how many great quarterbacks have transferred from Georgia under Smart? I know Fields and Eason. I thought there was another one in there. Something's off at Georgia, not being able to finish the deal. I know they're not the only ones who haven't finished the deal against Alabama, but there's a little something extra. We all give them credit for it. We look at it and go, man, the way they're recruiting, Georgia's just hitting home run after home run. They're the class of the East and this. And man, they're not there yet. And I don't know what it is, and it's not talent. That I can tell you. They don't pay me to have the answers. If I had those answers, I'd go get a coaching job and make $4 million a year. I don't have those answers. But I know this. They're missing a little something still in that program right now, and it's not talent. I don't know what it is. Boy, this is a long text here from Beeves' former neighbor Stephen on the Country Pleasing text line. Sun popping out there here in the Outdoor Farm Bureau studio. Beeves' former neighbor Stephen says, can people stop with the whole Mike Leach is being paid $5 million, so get it fixed now? Yes, some of these other schools have new coaches and are running new schemes and look better, but they are running offenses more similar than different from what they previously ran. State is implementing a complete and totally 180. He says, I understand people didn't think it would be this bad, but this is not a system change you can make even with a full spring in summer, much less no spring and sliver of practice. These fans have zero clue and are making my brain hurt. That is from Beeves' former neighbor, Stephen. I'm taking it. Stephen texted. Look, and you know what? His name on there, I guarantee you, he texted in one day and said, hey, Beav, this is Stephen. And Beaver went in there and typed in Beaver's former neighbor, Stephen.
Hey, going back to Jason and Flagstaff text, the only other quarterback I remember from Georgia transferred was Mettenberger, who transferred from Georgia to LSU.
Yeah. But he would have played not for Smart. He would have played for
yeah, it was Richt. That was in,
Richt.
I think 2010, 2011, something like that.
Yep. That's right. Because I remember he and Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry scored 24 points in the fourth quarter at Mississippi State in 2013. That was that game I got in trouble in the post game for saying they don't give out awards for playing good for 3 quarters. And Dan Mullen said that he needed me to be more positive about his football team, and he was right, because a year later they were number 1. He knew what was going on. I didn't know.
That sounds like Greg Williams and Gas, the coach.
Yeah.
Jets.
That's right. M in New Mexico says, assuming quarterback play is decent moving forward, what do you think the chances are that the offensive line is able to make necessary adjustments during the next few weeks to put us in position to win a few more games? Well, you got 2 weeks before you play Alabama. I'll say this. If you want to have quarterbacks left, better figure it out in 2 weeks. The Phoenix says, guys, I just can't figure out what happened from week 1 to the last 3 weeks, and talent, preparation, cohesiveness, all of the above is going to hell, he says. That's from the Phoenix. We're getting close to the edge of that cliff. Lynn says, Matt, try being a Bears, Mets, and State fan. It could be worse.
Oh, wow.
So my triple is Braves, Chiefs, and State. Okay, and I said, this is what happens when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. If you're pulling for the Braves, they're going to choke in Game 7. If you're pulling for State, they're going to tease you and then fall flat on offense. It's what happens if your other team has won the Super Bowl the year before. Lynn says, try being a Bears, Mets, and State fan. Whew, Lynn.
Bears aren't too bad this year. They were 5-1.
85 was a long time ago, JB.
Do the Super Bowl shuffle.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm still mad Walter Payton didn't get a touchdown.
Y'all stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sauce. It's countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive. All right, what's up? It's a Reaction Monday. Y'all hit me up here on the Country Pleasing text line at 885 ESPN if you're tuning into the live stream. Hey to y'all. I'm sitting outside today. I moved the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio outdoors. Just decided I wanted to feel the sunshine, get a nice dose of it. Breeze blowing, fall weather, leaves falling. Here on this table where I've got everything set up, the leaves have fallen every now and then, like near my coffee cup. And that's the most fall image ever, isn't it? You got a coffee cup outdoors and a leaf falls in it. Anyway, we're out here. We out here. Yeah, if you know what I mean. All right, so out here. It's one word. Yeah. Hi to Toby, who's watching the live stream in Corpus Christi, Texas. What's up to you? Sven, talking about Georgia on the live stream, he said it's Kirby and his way to run an offense and look at quarterbacks. He needs a new offensive coordinator and somebody who knows quarterbacks and can value them. Well, Sven, he's supposed to have that with Todd Monken right now. Todd Monken, former Southern Miss head coach, coached Nick Mullins at Southern Miss into an NFL opportunity and career. Who, I guess he didn't finish his career with Todd, but was really good under Todd. And, coached in the NFL, was on the dirt cutter staff there for Tampa for a while, and kind of has a track record. He spent some time in his career at Oklahoma State. So he's supposed to know those things. So they have a brand new one this year. We were talking about the three teams you root for. Chewmeister said his are Bama, Braves, and Bucks. Bucks fan since the 90s, Bama fan, the only one with success, and the Braves constantly letting him down. Of course, did beat the Packers yesterday, as he points out. Sven and others have talked about pulling for the Cowboys as long as Dak is there. And I'll be honest with you, this is the honest truth. I'm telling you. So Chiefs play tonight. Yesterday was the first Sunday this time of year since 4 years, 5 seasons. I had no interest in watching NFL football yesterday on Sunday. I did not watch it. I edited I sat downstairs with the family, but had my computer out editing, working on the Hometown Heroes video that I posted last night. I did that. I didn't tune in. And if Dak were playing for the Cowboys, and of course I know they play tonight, but if Dak playing for the Cowboys, I'd be tuned in and locked in to them. I have no interest in watching the Cowboys if Dak isn't playing. But if he is playing, it's almost like I'm a fan of their team.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan of his.
I've never liked the Cowboys. Matter of fact, I hate the Cowboys. I still do. But if Dak's playing for him, I like him.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Like if he's not playing for him, I don't want to watch them.
Right. I'm cheering really hard he ends up in New Orleans next year.
Oh man, and you know what? None of us know what God has planned for Dak in his life, and we just hope that his will is done and I believe it will be in Dak's life. But, you know, if this was a thing that opened the door to him playing somewhere else and it went well, then it is the kind of thing you would look back on and point to at this crossroads in his career.
Watershed moment.
Exactly. We're not saying it will happen. And, you know, and I know he hopes to come back for the Cowboys and get the contract and lead them to a Super Bowl. But, look, y'all, I'm just telling you, Dallas is not a Super Bowl organization. They're just not. They're not a bunch of bad people or doofuses. That's not what I'm saying. They're just not a Super Bowl organization. They're not. And I believe Dak is a Super Bowl type of quarterback you can build around, and there are some Super Bowl organizations out there. Let me give you another idea to think about, JB. What if Cam is one and done in New England?
Yeah, I'm not a big Cam fan.
Well, what I'm saying is, what if Dak finds his way to New England?
Went up there. Oh man,
I think Dak Prescott would be the perfect Bill Belichick quarterback.
Oh yeah.
I mean, outside of Tom
Toughness,
Brady,
that grit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. Absolutely.
John on the live stream says, I am concerned for Dak's future. Andy Dalton could spark the team into the playoffs and beyond like Foles did with the Eagles when their quarterback went down. You know, and the Eagles stuck with the I can't think of his name. The
Wentz.
Wentz. They stuck with Wentz, obviously. But, you know, and they could.
How's that working out for you right now, Billy?
Yeah. It's not working out too well.
Look at how well Ben Roethlisberger came back from a bad injury last year, though.
Yeah.
Steelers are, 5-0?
Yeah, and beat the tar out of Cleveland yesterday.
Yeah, I've got a bad story for you, if you don't mind me sharing this real quick. You know, I'm working at Live Oaks on Sundays. And so our green superintendent come in. We're talking about, we've got a fantasy football league between 12 of us there, and I'm playing one of my other bosses. I said, you know, I got a bad feeling about Matt Ryan. He just hadn't been doing it. They're 0-5. They're playing in Minnesota. I think I'm going to start Baker Mayfield. And the green superintendent looks at me and goes, yeah, man, I'd do that.
Oh,
right then
no.
and there, I switched it. Baker got 5 points in NFL fantasy football, and Matt Ryan had 32. Now, fortunately, I'm still winning the game, but the guy I'm playing, he could sneak in tonight. But I was like Jerry Jones as a GM.
Yeah, you were. A wrong move at the wrong time.
Exactly.
How in the world did Atlanta go up there and put those points up against Minnesota?
I got no idea.
Nobody
That's what
does.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
There are more head-scratching things happening in college and NFL football this year than any year we can remember, and it makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
You know, which I know is kind of the oxymoron.
It's 2020.
It's 2020.
That's
bingo.
Yeah.
Jonathan on the text line says, don't worry, Matt. It felt like work just watching Mississippi State so far this season. Tiger David, what does he say here? Let's see. They beat a bad off-year LSU team. Don't feel good about that win, as you see now. I say, well, that's because you were a lot better. Oh, talking about how come I enjoy high school football. He says, well, it's because you were a lot better in high school. Maybe that's it, David. Maybe that's it. The real Eric says, the state need to give that trooper a scholarship. Man, if he's got some. Turns out that trooper, highway patrolman who ran down the protester, tackled him. He ran like a 4.6 in his uniform. Hat never came off. Turns out he ran the Boston Marathon last year. Turns out that's a real true story. A real true story.
You might say he's a real trooper.
He's a real trooper. White Denzel says, is Chad Morris coaching the Mississippi State offense, and we just don't know that he is? Anthony from Tupelo. He says, hey, Matt, Tyson Lee was a transfer quarterback. That's not what we're talking about, Anthony. He was a signee out of JUCO. That's what he was. When we talk about transfer, we're talking about transfer portal days, guys who have basically 1 year to go play somewhere. So it's a big difference. It says, wasn't it Dan's second year when he came to State? No. He was actually there when Dan got there. He signed with State. His first year at State out of ICC was in 2008. Crooms last year. And then he, played most of the year in 2009 as a senior for Dan. Which actually, so the whole timeline on that one actually kind of backs up what we were saying about Mullen. Tyler, his 3 teams are State, the Saints, and the Braves. Chad from Texas Says, I was at games 5 and 6 in Arlington, and the Braves had no life. My biggest frustration from last night is something no one is talking about. It has to do with Will Smith's 2-run single in the 4th. Why did the Braves have extreme shift on with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs with a 2-run lead? Analytics gifted them 2 runs, which is the precise difference between a Braves win and a Braves loss. Hail State and chop on. Chad, my biggest thing from the game was a base running error. When you're up 1 run, you got 2 runners on there with no outs, and you get a ground ball, a guy, Dansby Swanson, trying to score on a ball he never should have tried to score on. They get him in a rundown, and then Riley gets himself, right after they tag Dansby Swanson in the rundown, gets himself thrown out trying to reach third base. I mean, it was one of the biggest base running goofs you'll ever see in a big situation. So to me, that was the difference. 3 Hump Camel says, nice. The first batch I made disappeared as soon as my neighbor tried. What is it? What are we talking about there? I don't even know what we're talking about there. Louvier says, best news ever. Dallas is not a Super Bowl organization. Go Saints. Happy 30th anniversary to my wife. She is the best decision I ever made. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Louvier. We will put you on the prayer list, ma'am, if that's all right with you, because we kind of know what you're dealing with there. Joey says, hashtag GoMHP for Mississippi Highway Patrol. That was a beautiful tackle. It was a beautiful tackle. And I agree with you, Bama fan. The base running error was the biggest thing in that ball game for the Braves last night. And biggest, I think, momentum shift even. The Chewmeister agrees on that. And he says base running sucked. Why did both of them get busted? It reeks of poor discipline. And kind of a freak-out move. I don't know. Again, it was not like there was anything on that play that should have fooled Dansby Swanson about trying to score. So it was a bit of a freak out on his part. And then once he freaked out, he did a nice job of trying to extend the rundown to give Austin Riley time to score at third. He did a nice job. But Riley kind of freaked out on what to do, and I felt like froze in between as opposed to just getting over to third base. Yeah, exactly. Bama fans pointing that out. So it was a double freak out by 2 guys on a base pass, and when that happened, you could kind of feel it. As a Braves fan, you've seen it over and over and over and over for 16, 17, 18, ever how many dadgum years it is. We've been watching the same thing. Okay. Jake, if you'll hang on, we'll get to you coming out of the break on the Davini Equipment phone line. We'll get some more texts and messages on the live stream. The live stream is active today. Y'all can see that I'm sitting outside in the sunshine, enjoying this fall breeze. The leaves haven't quite changed, but they're starting to on this maple tree. Is that a maple tree? What kind of tree is that? I don't know. I'll look it up in the break. In the Farm Bureau outdoor studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C-Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from it. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you
And
buying
the
land
knowledge
or...
base of an unknown legend.
It's like trying to nail Jell-O to the wall.
It's the Gridiron with Chris Brooks. Weekdays 10 a.m. to noon. Streaming online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 1059 The Zone.
Now to get back to our little talk.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
Back on the show, the homecoming queen just stopped by and brought me gifts. Out here on the front porch, JB, or the front patio.
All right, man. I like you a lot. You're rubbing it in today.
Well, I'm not really rubbing it. I don't mean to be rubbing it in.
No, you're not, man. You're just stating the facts.
She's driving away, going to pick up our child from school. Yeah, I'm stating the facts. It is such a beautiful day. I may do this every day. I may never go back indoors ever again when the weather is like this. This is great. Just sitting outside, bugs flying around, every now and then the
Every now
birds
and then
chirp.
I hear the birds chirp. Oh, wow. You said the same thing. Jinx 1 2 3.
Jinx 1 2 3. Yeah, every now and then I hear the birds chirp. I just had to get outside today. Now we're starting to get a few clouds, kind of sun popping in and out, but the weather is just perfect. Low 80s, little breeze every now and then. People on the live stream. Look at this comment from the Chewmeister on the live stream, JB. He says, makes me want to get a sun drop and a rocking chair and join you, Matt. It looks beautiful out there. It is gorgeous out here. Hey, but what is a sun drop?
What is the what?
He says I don't know if it's a typo or if he meant to say that, but he said it makes me want to get a sun drop and a rocking chair and join you. And what is a sun drop? I don't know what that is.
Got to be a typo. A sun drop. I know lemon drops, but I don't know sun drops.
I don't know what that is. No, she just came around the corner and she brought me a bag full of that mix that we like. Candy corn, peanuts, and pretzels.
Well, I'll tell you this. We had, I believe it was one of our callers that came in and texters came in and brought some beef jerky and some socks for Shower Power that Jake had a remote at. But
Oh, really?
The beef jerky, that might be the best beef jerky I ever put in my mouth.
Oh, is it? I love jerky.
Yeah. So it's not candy corn with peanuts and stuff. And I'm not sitting outside.
But you did get some free stuff. Okay, so we're talking about Sundrop, talking about the carbonated drink, like Mellow Yellow, Mountain Dew, like old Sundrop. Okay, that's that word.
I remember Sun Kissed, and I remember the Orange Crush.
But not
I'm not
Sundrop.
sure I remember the Sundrop.
Okay, I'm going to go to the phone line that'll give me time to pour some more coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany. Get yours at highpointroasters.com. Order it. It shows up on your doorstep. Grind it up. Pour some hot water over it. Make some coffee. Drink it. You'll thank me later. Coffee from High Point Roasters in New Albany. Let's go to the Davini Equipment phone line. And Jake, patiently waiting since the break began. Jake, thanks for being patient. What's up, man?
Hey, man, what's going on? The sun drop, huh? I heard that.
Yeah, I hadn't had a sun drop. I remember them. It's just been forever since I've seen one.
Actually, I thought a sun drop was like a shade thing you pull and make the shade come down over you so the sun wouldn't get in your face.
Well,
That's what I thought it was.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
No, this is kind of like a Mountain Dew.
Okay. Yeah,
kind of mellow yellow Mountain Dew kind of flavor.
Okay. All right.
Hey, guys, what's up with Arkansas? What is up with the Arkansas Razorbacks? What is going on?
Let me tell you what it is.
They
block, hit, and tackle.
Oh, my God.
Block, hit, and tackle. And there's no confusion on what they're trying to do. They just go do it.
I call this beginning of the season. I said, these guys ain't no joke. They went and got this guy from Florida. He got experience. And people got to understand something, how the defense works. Defense comes off the offense. If the offense is scoring, that's going to hype up them boys on defense, period. Yeah. If the offense is clicking, it's going to hype them up. That's kind of what Mississippi State has a problem on. Their defense is really good.
Right.
But guess what? They can't stay on the field all day long, guys. You got to score.
Yeah.
You have to score. And I'm not going to knock Leach. Let's get him another 2 more. No, I really don't take advice from what's his name? Chicken Buzzard?
Chicken Hawk.
Bird?
Yeah, Chicken Buzzard.
I don't just take advice from him. But, let's get a guy one more season, at least 2 more seasons. After that third season, guys, maybe because now he got his own people in, his own crew. Now maybe he can work with them. But Lane Kiffin, that was a funny interview. That interview had me rolling.
I didn't see it. You talking about after the game?
Yes, sir.
I missed it. I didn't see what
happened.
It
was a funny because Lane Kiffin, he's all about prestige and perfection. He had no clue. He had no clue on what to say, on how to handle it. It's just perfection. Guys, thanks, guys, for the call. And give me your prediction on the next Mississippi State game. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, the next one is in 2 weeks in Tuscaloosa. And there's one reason that I hope that game gets postponed, and it has nothing to do with the possible outcome. It's Halloween, and I want to go trick-or-treating with my daughter on Halloween. Dang it. Okay, I'll just say that. Yeah, State's not beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa. It'd be a lot to a little. But the thing is, maybe State goes over there and shows some improvement. I mean, that's the deal. Go over there and put up a fight, show some improvement so that you'll have some confidence coming out of that. And you can be the next Arkansas, right? Play a top team in the SEC, but play well enough that you lose but come out of it with confidence and turn that into a little winning streak. That is what the challenge is for State. Not going over there and beating them because, frankly, I don't think it's in the cards. Gator Greg on the Davini Equipment phone line. What's up, Gator Greg? Hope you're doing well.
Well, let's see, Mr. Wyatt, let's see. First, Wyatt, you got the grill out in just an hour or so. Your Chiefs, you have your daughter, your wife there. I can't believe you're not tailgating, want to watch Willie Gay, Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes against the Buffalo Bills. I can't believe
honest truth. The honest truth. The original plan was not to be in the front of the house where I am right now. I was going to be in the back where the grill is, but my internet Wi-Fi won't reach all the way out there, so I had to come out front. But when we're done, I'm going, and we're going to grill country pleasing sausage tonight here at the house. That's a promise.
And look, Mr. Wyatt, a couple of weeks, that game will be at 11 o'clock between Statewide and Alabama. Maybe hopefully it is.
I hope so.
It's a short trip to Starkville, and you back up to Tupelo. You'll be able to spend Halloween with your daughter. Don't worry about that. It'll be an 11 o'clock game. I was just going to ask you, Mr. Wyatt, I know you study the films like your guys Kulik and Stinchcomb. I'd like you to kind of break down some of the quarterback play and decision-making in the SEC with these quarterbacks, all these interceptions. I mean, Bo Nix at the end of the game not throwing the ball in the end zone when you need to score to try to tie it. What was he thinking? I just like to look at it from a quarterback perspective. And I'll say this, Mr. Wyatt, I enjoy listening to you and Neil on the radio. We turned the TV down, listened to you guys. When they got that defensive touchdown, you sounded like you won the lottery, Mr. Wyatt, or Neil did. I love that. I love the passion. You guys doing a great job. Mr. Wyatt, go Chiefs this afternoon. Go Chris Jones. We'll see you.
See you. Greg, thanks for the call. Yeah, Chris is healthy, and Willie's getting more playing time. They're fun to watch, you know.
Yesterday, A.J. Brown showed out a little bit.
Oh, boy, didn't he? Well, he and Jeffrey Simmons both for the Titans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, the Titans are, to me, they're easy to pull for. And I would love to go up there and see a game. It's an easy trip for us to Nashville. Mm-hmm. It is not a hard trip at all. Especially since they got that new, I've talked about this before, but they got that new 4-lane highway from Red Bay, Alabama, all the way to Decatur, Alabama, done. It kind of bypasses Russellville. You don't have to get on the
So is it an interstate or is it a state highway?
Well, I don't know. It's 24 is the number on it. I think it's a state highway because it goes, because it's 4-lane, basically bypasses.
What's the speed limit? 65?
No, well, 65 or 70.
Okay, if it's 65, it's probably a state highway. If it's 70, it's an interstate, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think it's interstate because it goes over and connects with, let me think about this. It connects with 72 for a couple of miles at Decatur, and then you make the decision of which way you're going to go on I-65. Like it connects with I-65 over there. Yeah. So it cuts off some time anyway, and get on 65 and then just go north, and you're there in no time. Easy trip until you hit Nashville traffic at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. You better avoid that at all costs. That's my advice. Yeah, but they're easy to pull for. All right. Let's see here. Nick on the Country Pleasing text line. Hey, Matt, you think Mississippi State will be in – what? You think Mississippi State will – typo, Nick. Try it again. Fleet Feet Pete says Corral just threw another interception. Yeah, a rash of interceptions. SEC quarterbacks, but certainly here in the state of Mississippi here recently. Wouldn't be a bad film study to do it. Go back and, like Greg says, start to kind of look at some of the decision-making there. Bill texts me and says, so I was at the MRA prep game watching our Patriots march on to victory Friday night. I looked over and saw the biggest dang photographer I've ever seen in my life, dressed all in gray. Any idea who that could have been? That was Chris Brooks. Brooks was there with one camera in the first half, and he takes his one camera and puts it on a pole, so he doesn't even have to use his muscles. I walk around with 3 cameras, carry all 3 of them. Brooks is a big old boy now. He's bigger than you think he is. I mean, he's about linebacker size. He sure is.
No, I think he's more of a nose tackle.
Maybe. All right. Let's talk about MRA and prep. We'll start off hour 3 with that. Stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with auto pay and paperless billing. Even without auto pay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sausage, countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, you know, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at state, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at thezone1059.com and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
All right, let's go. Let's do it. Hour 3 of the show underway. Hour 3 of our show every day presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Starkville or Stark Vegas, however you want to say it. If you're going up there, if you're moving up there especially, like you're moving up there permanently, going to live in Starkville looking for a house, a place, or if it is temporary, let's say you come into town in Starkville for ball games, you need a condo that you can call yours. It's there, it's yours whenever you come into town for a game weekend. There, boom, that's home for the weekend. Condo, investment property, or leasing an apartment, anything like that. Go to Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Overstreetproperties.com. Tell them I sent you. All right, so yep, if you're just tuning in and listening, and maybe you hear something a little different every now and then, you might hear a bird chirp. I'm outdoors. I moved the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio outside today, sitting out front under the trees, sun kind of peeking through, moving around. The angles have changed, but the temperature has not. Every now and then the breeze kicks up, so it's a beautiful day to be outdoors. And the show does not change, though. You can be a part of it in the same way as you always can. And on Reaction Monday, I hope you will. Text me, call me, message, or comment there on the live stream. We're going to start off on the Davini Equipment phone line, 995-1059. First up, Ready Teddy, been hanging on for a while. Teddy, I hear that congratulations are in order for you.
Yes, they are. Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yep, I hope it went well. Congrats to you and Mrs. Teddy.
Well, it couldn't go any better. She let me get married on a Friday since it's football season.
Atta boy. Man, what an unselfish move. We should not be having weddings on fall Saturdays in the South. That is my theory, and she's a winner in my book.
Wonderful.
What's up?
Quick point, y'all were saying. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I just said what's up.
Oh, the highway you're talking about, keep this in mind when you're traveling. Interstates in 0 and 5 only.
Uh-huh. Odd numbers, okay.
Interstate 10, 20, 30, 55, 45, 35, that kind of thing. All right. The second thing is, I kind of say this in jest, but it's kind of funny to me, but I think the Arkansas athletic director is Hunter Yurachek.
Right.
Now that Arkansas is playing, pretty well and much improved, it kind of wonders, is he walking around with his chest poked out thinking, yes, Sam Pittman, that's my guy, when it was really his 5th or 6th guy?
Well, you got a great point, Teddy, because you know how that stuff goes.
Oh, yeah. Yurachek looks like a genius now.
Well, and he looks like a genius even though he didn't want him, right? Well, and look,
that's right.
I know that's what you're pointing out, but also ADs, it's sort of like they tell us what they have to tell us, and we know it, and they know it, but nobody has a choice, right? We could say, hey, Hunter, he wasn't really your first choice. No, well, we never got close to anyone, and once we got down to Sam Pittman and a chance to meet him, we knew he was our guy. They're going to tell you the same thing every time, but, yeah, right. Never let it – let's don't look at some of these hires that work out and some that don't as it ever being an exact science. It is not. They'll go make a hire. Sometimes they make hires because they have absolutely run out of options, and it works out. That's just the way it is.
That's right. Well, I just thought that was kind of funny to me, so I just thought I'd share that with you. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Good point. Appreciate you bringing that up. It is true. Not anywhere near their first choice. And so far it's working out. And what would Hunter Yurachek, the AD at Arkansas, say if you said, hey, good job? Is he poking his chest out, or does he humbly say, well, sure, I'm glad it worked out? Yeah, the numbers I always thought the odd numbers on a highway were for interstates and highways that ran north and south, and the even numbers on highways were interstates and highways that ran east and west. That's what I thought. So maybe somebody else knows. Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment. Madison and in Jackson, 995-1059. Chris, hanging on. What's up, Chris?
What's up, Matt? Hey,
Yo.
man, first thing you were dead on. Even numbers are east and west. Odd numbers are north and south. 24 is an interstate.
Okay.
And it ends in Chattanooga.
Oh, really? Okay.
But
All
it
right.
runs down to Chattanooga, and it runs, I don't know where it goes after it passes Nashville, because I run between Nashville and Chattanooga all the time up Interstate 24. That goes through the, oh, man, now I done forgot the Mount Ingle up there just north of Chattanooga.
Okay.
The mountain pass up
Yeah,
there.
that's making sense.
And also, too, I want a definition of what you call a Super Bowl franchise.
Oh, boy, yeah. Well, I know why you're asking, and I know.
Yeah,
that,
I mean, you do.
Okay, the Cowboys won 3. You know, in terms of my lifetime, basically, I guess.
5. They've won 5.
Well, 5 total, and then recently, Jerry Jones was a part of 3 of them when he took over. Is that right?
Right.
And you know, the thing about that is, how long ago are we talking about now? 30 years ago?
But wait a minute. How long ago has it been since New Orleans went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, it ain't been long.
2007.
Or I thought it was 9. Maybe it was 7. God,
Nope.
yeah, I lost 2 years.
It was during Katrina. It was the year after Katrina.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And before the last 2 that Kansas City just went to, how long had it been since they've been there?
Oh, Lord.
Really, honestly, the only Super Bowl franchise that's in the NFL right now is New England.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Well,
I mean,
I guess
you
what
break it down that way.
Well, if you break it down that way, if we were strictly looking at a timeline, you're right. You're right. And for the record, Kansas City hadn't been to 2. They were in the division playoff and should have beaten New England 2 years ago and didn't. And then, of course, last year got there and did it. But anyway, to the point. Okay, so we say Super Bowl. That's a moniker that if we're saying just having been or played in one or won one, what I was kind of alluding to is the quality of organization that is really legitimately going to threaten to go get in the Super Bowl right now. And
so
Dallas is not it.
Let me ask you one question. Dak doesn't get hurt. Do you still think that Dallas has a chance to go to the Super Bowl this year?
I did not think
Of course you do. I mean,
no. I did not think they had a chance. With that defense, I don't think they had a chance this year.
Okay, so I mean, how many times have we seen teams start awful?
Yeah.
And especially in the division the Cowboys were in, they were basically going to walk into the playoffs and still might walk into the playoffs without that.
And by the time they get there, you know,
they might have fixed it.
Well, and theoretically, you're going to get Van Der Esch back by then, and he's sort of a difference maker. But look, you're just kind of asking my opinion. I'll give you my opinion. I think he can make a difference, but even if you put a healthy Van Der Esch back in there, they're terrible on defense. They're not coached well.
They may be, but
and they were underprepared.
But hey, but 2 years ago when your Kansas City Chiefs, if they could have stopped Tom Brady, they might have went to the Super Bowl.
Well, statistically, 2 years ago, Kansas City's defense much better than the Cowboys' defense this year. So, and again, that's stats. Okay, it doesn't tell you everything. And in that game, they basically stopped them. If if D Ford doesn't jump off sides on that one play and give them a new set of downs, they had stopped them and won the game. He jumps off sides, gives them a new set. Brady goes down and beats you. And immediately they shipped D Ford out of there after the season, got Frank Clark and go win a Super Bowl with him last year. And the defense was better last year, and Chris Jones is getting a little older. They finally got rid of Marcus Peters, who was kind of a disruptor in their locker room. Anyway, you know, Chris, to your point, you know, I guess the reason I say that, and it was not to infuriate a Cowboys fan, it's just looking at it going, man, we all have, because they're America's team and they're popular, they drive ratings. We've all kept an eye on Dallas for years and years and years and years and years. And ever since Jimmy Johnson, they just aren't a threat to win the Super Bowl. They're just not.
I agree with you on that. But the other thing is that you have fans that are sitting here saying that, but their team's only been to one Super Bowl in the whole franchise's history, and they've won it.
But it's not a conversation about those teams. It's not. We're not talking about the Chiefs. We're not talking about the Eagles.
No, I'm not talking about the Chiefs.
Well,
I was talking about the Saints.
Well, it could be Saints. It could be Eagles. It could be anybody. I think what you called me for and what I was talking about earlier is just strictly the conversation as it relates to Dak and the Cowboys. And this is my belief, and I ain't going to be moved from it. Dak is the kind of quarterback, kind of leader, quarterback, player, playmaker, everything that you can build a Super Bowl team around for a lot of years, even post-injury. I believe that. But there's something about Dallas that gives me zero confidence they'll do it. I'll be honest with you. I'm a Braves fan. I feel the same way about the Braves. They're fun to watch. Acuna at the leadoff spot and Swanson at short and Freeman at first is absolutely the kind of guys you can build a championship team around. Are they going to do it? No, they're not. And I don't think the Cowboys are either.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm a Braves fan too, and it was hard to watch that game last night. But I think some of the people that you watched last night beat the Braves are going to end up on the Braves next year. There's a lot of talk that Justin Turner's going to end up there, and there's another prominent person that I won't speak out into existence because I don't want to jinx it.
So you're saying the Leprechaun will be on the Braves next year?
Man, that dude's
there's serious talk about that happening.
I just hope
they wanted that Cubs third baseman, but they could never get him. So
who are you talking about?
It is what it is.
The third baseman, Bryant.
Yep. They tried to deal for him several times, and Chicago wouldn't let us have him. So
I kind of hope that they sign. I kind of hope they sign Acuna again. I like him. I hope he sticks around.
Oh, they're going to keep Acuna. They're going to actually get his brother. They're working on getting his brother right now, and his brother's just as good as him. So you're talking about an outfield that's got Pache in the center of two Acuna. So
yeah,
we're talking about a good team for a couple of years, but we'll see. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Talk to you later.
Thanks, Chris. And I'm wondering at the end there if we were confusing Ozuna. Did I say Acuna? I meant to say Ozuna. Marcell Ozuna is who I hope they re-sign for next year. There's no doubt Acuna Jr. is going to be there. And I think Chris was talking about Acuna Jr. And you have, two Acunas in the outfield. That'd be great. Anyway, differing opinions on that. And look, man, I'm a Dak fan, and if he goes back and is playing for the Cowboys, I sure hope that I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I want him to win one. I think he's in the wrong place to do it.
Tell me if I misunderstood you, because when you made that comment earlier, I agreed with you 100% because I figured you were talking about the Jones organization.
That's basically what I mean.
They're not. They say they're committed to winning. I lived in Dallas when they first bought the team, and when Jerry had all his stuff with Jimmy, and they won the Super Bowls. But they'll never be that again with him. He's in my estimation, and I'm not making a judgment. I'm just making an observation. He's too arrogant.
Yeah, something's wrong. Something doesn't add up.
Exactly.
And listen,
he should have signed Dak before now.
Listen, JB, history is going to show that you simply cannot justify the order in which they approached that whole thing. They went out there and signed, of course he's holding out. And they go and sign Zeke to the kind of contract they signed him to, and then go and take care of Jalen Smith,
right?
A guy who's already had one near career-ending injury playing linebacker in a position that you're going and drafting another one in the first round before paying your quarterback.
Didn't they also do Amari Cooper a new contract as well?
I think it was a one-year thing, but to make sure he was going to be there. Okay,
yeah.
So they pay Jalen Smith, draft a linebacker. They pay Amari Cooper, draft a receiver. You cannot figure out it ain't. Nobody's ever done the kind of stuff they're doing. Okay, and so there's no. It's just messed up. Okay,
I've got relatives that work for the organization, and they tell me straight up, and until he dies, and Steven takes it. They say Steven's pretty good, but he said that Jerry is the Ed Orgeron of NFL owners, because he won't keep his fingers out of the offense and defense and just do his job,
Right.
be the face of the organization.
Right.
But he thinks he's an NFL, GM and head coach and all this kind of stuff. And,
Sure.
And to be honest with you, a lot of Dallas fans still haven't forgiven him for firing Tom Landry.
Yeah. Well, and
talk about carrying that bitterness for a long time.
Well, and then but you follow the timeline. He fires Landry. Here comes Johnson. They win with him, and then he runs him out of town.
Yeah.
We can't have somebody around here more popular than me. It's just listen, y'all. I'm just telling you.
Call it Napoleon syndrome.
There is not a bigger Dak Prescott fan anywhere than me. I'll admit it. I watch every snap the Cowboys play if he's in there. Okay, but if he goes to the Cincinnati, I'll watch every snap that Cincinnati plays. Okay, that's just the way it is. And when he's not playing, I got no interest in even watching him. And you go, well, they may win their division with Andy Dalton. Good, more power to him. It's a terrible division. Okay, let them run up against Green Bay in the playoffs. Same thing going to happen. That has happened every time. The other team will figure out a way, and Dallas won't. Okay, Dak is, in my opinion, absolutely the kind of player you can build a consistent winner, playoff winner, go chase them down and make a run at a Super Bowl type of quarterback, but not at that organization.
Did you see that little text I sent you about Dak?
Yes, or the
all
tweet.
All the NFL teams they've all played 6 games, and Dak has missed, 1.5?
Yeah, let me see if I can find it here.
It still leads the NFL in passing.
Where is it? Here it is. All but 4 NFL teams have played their Week 6 games. Dak Prescott still leads the NFL in passing yards. He can't throw the ball, and there's, we're gonna, with what we say and with how we behave, we're gonna lead people to believe that, at some point he's the issue. Maybe they go get in the playoffs with Andy Dalton. We'll see. Maybe they do. And he's not a bad player at all. Dalton, former Pro Bowl player, but he's had weapons before. You go back and look at some of those early A.J. Green teams when A.J. Green first got up there. Dalton had weapons all around the place. And so, look, you go, well, there's a class of the NFC East. Okay, well, what's that? What is that? Is that like finishing first in a 2-man race?
I think the Cardinals hang 35 on them tonight.
Yeah. I'll be surprised if they don't. I'm with you on that. Unnamed texter, country pleasing text line, 885 ESPN. Dak would make a great Saint. Man, I'd be driving to New Orleans to watch him play if he put him in a Saints uniform. For Sean Payton, you kidding me? If we could make that happen fast, I know, again, Saints, people who understand the money, they don't have the money for that. Okay, I get it. But one can dream, sir. One can dream. Jason in Flagstaff says, I always go up the Trace in Nashville. I have done that several times. The last few times I go up the Trace, and I'll get off the Trace at Franklin, because from Franklin to Nashville, like the last 10 to 15 miles will make you puke. Okay? It is absolutely an old Native American path that they paved in the last 15 miles, I promise you. Nick's, you think Mississippi State needs to start what next week? Will. We need a capital W. You think Mississippi State will start Will next week? Yes, I do. I think Will Rogers will start at quarterback. Lynn said, you're right on the even and odd. And the one in front, for example, 165 is a spur into a city. Okay, thanks, Lynn. Appreciate that. Eric, yeah, we're correcting it here. Saints went to the Super Bowl in February 2010 at the end of the 2009 season. He says, I love it when people think they know what they're talking about and have zero clue. Well, Chris was only off 2 years. His point, he thought it was 2007, but it was 2009. Louvier. Man, look at you. Louvier sent us pictures of he and his bride. And look, Louvier, I identify with you. The wedding pictures, you had hair, smiling now, into the selfie, you don't. And she's just as beautiful as she always was, and you are a lucky man and had better behave. 2009. All right, Coffee Norman says, Matt, you're spot on about the Cowboys. Even with all that money, they will not get out and get the players on both sides of the ball that it takes. Saints is much more of a Super Bowl franchise with Sean Payton in that organization. That's from Coffee Norman. Anthony in Tupelo says Dallas doesn't have a championship owner. They have all the resources to win a championship. Ghost Pepper. You can fly from Tupelo to Nashville for $49 Wyatt Drive. Absolutely. Ghost Pepper, we have friends who do that all the time. They love it. We've got some friends here who they take their family just every now and then. They take that $49 flight from Tupelo to Nashville, stay at the Opryland Hotel for the weekend, come back home. And let me tell you something, though, okay? Insight into me, you go, why drive? I would rather drive somewhere 6 hours than sit on a plane for 1. I don't like flying. I do not like it. I avoid it whenever, however. When I drive, it is some of the most peaceful minutes and hours I get. Windshield time is valuable to me. I think, I listen, I learn, I relax. I'm telling you, I drove 6.5 hours to Kentucky one day and last 2 weeks ago for that ball game. Turned around and drove 6.5 hours back the next day and was kicked back and relaxed the whole way. I enjoy driving. It doesn't bother me. If I want to stop, I stop. If I want to get out and get something to eat, I do it. I'm not depending on anybody else. You put me on an airplane. Here's the other thing, Ghost Pepper. I don't mean to scare you, but listen. If the alternator quits on my car, I just pull over to the side of the road. What about in that airplane and you're sitting back there buckled in? Something happens. What's going to happen? What are you going to do? You ain't going to pull over on the side of the road, I promise you that. Convenience or sanity? It's your choice. All right, more of your texts, and we'll get to some phone calls next on the Davini Equipment phone. I'm Matt on this Reaction Monday, Hour 3, presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Stick around.
Ranco Transmission and
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country pleasing sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan. Put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasing sauce. It's countrypleasing.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasing, please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Hey, are you buying land or selling it? You need to let Matt Anderson with National Land Realty help you out. Matt Anderson Properties. Here's what Matt can do. If you're buying land, you can view the property without ever setting foot on it. They've got the 360-degree interactive drone touring. It's really cool. You got to check it out. And if you're selling property, Matt's going to get you consistent reports, comprehensive reports of who's looking, how many people looked at your listing. You need to let him help you. Matt Anderson Properties with National Land Realty. Call him, 601-408-5155. Hey, if you listen to the show, you know that the new third hour of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Here's what you need to know. If you're looking for a weekend home or condo, full-time residence, investment property, maybe just an apartment to lease, you got a student going to school at State, call Kane Overstreet at Overstreet Properties. In Starkville, it's 323-8618, or look them up online, overstreetproperties.com.
Zone1059.com.
Back with you here on this Reaction Monday. Live on the radio in the state of Mississippi. Does everybody why can't there's like one or two people who might watch the live stream of this that goes out on multiple platforms, okay? And the people, that may watch on Facebook, they may watch on Periscope, they may watch it on YouTube. It sends it out to all of those. This is a live radio show. They're literally it doesn't do thousands of views on YouTube or any other platform during certain times of the show or certain times of the week, and it varies based on what's going on. All this is, y'all, is a live stream of while I'm doing a live radio show. I'm not doing a YouTube show. I'm not doing a Facebook show. I'm not doing a Periscope show. This is live radio. There's like one or two people who tune into this that can't seem to get that in their head. This is not a video that is posted to YouTube. This is a live stream of a live radio show that happens every day on a 50,000-watt ESPN flame-throwing radio station live from 12 until 3 p.m. Central Time in the state of Mississippi.
All coaches are in coaching, well, hopefully for a couple reasons. One, for education in young people.
I'm educating young people. Y'all listen. Please don't waste my time or anybody else's time anymore on the live stream with asking me stuff about why post a video here and why do this and where's the film study. Y'all, that's for a different time, a different place. Number one, I do a live radio show for a living. That's what this is. Number two, I post videos when and if I want to. I don't post videos, or I don't do a film study video and post it on YouTube in order to see how many views we can get. That's not how I make money. It's not how I make a living. I basically do that for fun. If I don't have time to do it, I don't do it. Period. It's that simple. I may not do one this week. It just depends on how I feel when I wake up tomorrow. All right. Bama fan on the Country Pleasing text line real quick said, go Saints, go Dak. What about the phone line, the Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the United States of America. It means Davini has been doing it better, longer than anyone else. Boudreaux hanging on the Davini phone. What's up?
Whoo, Matt Wyatt, I'm glad you got that off your chest. Yeah, you sound like that was bottling up. Could explode. I've got the education in you too. I heard Olivier say he's been married 30 years. I've been married to Paulette long time now, and my buddy Tib knocked on my door today. He said, "Boudreaux, it's your anniversary." I know because I was there. I said, "Yeah, I remember. We passed a good time." He said, "What you gonna do for Paulette for your anniversary?" I said, "Well, last year I took her to New Orleans. We passed a good time." He said, "Well, good. What you gonna do now?" I said, "Well, I figured today I'll go pick her up."
That's it. You better go get her. That's like akin to the old Benny Hinn joke. Remember that one, JB, when he said, "Take my wife, please."
Please, yeah. or the prank calls you would make when you were a kid. Hey, man,
right?
Prince Albert and the Cat.
Right.
Well, let him out.
Sven commenting on the live stream, he says, I only can see your show on YouTube. Radio is not available here in Germany. Yeah, and so, see, Sven, you're an example of a person who, because of your Mississippi State fandom, might want to tune into the radio show from wherever you are. And by providing it on YouTube, it gives you an opportunity to do that. Providing it on YouTube, providing it on Facebook, providing it on Periscope, streaming the audio, it is not about accumulating huge audiences. It's just not what it's about. The Chewmeister on the YouTube live stream says, I love being able to see the live stream on YouTube. Thanks for doing it. It just gives you another option. And in 2020, you ought to provide all those things. But I'm just not going to sit here and put up with somebody chastising me for streaming my radio show and not posting a film study video. If that's what you're looking for, go find somebody who posts film studies 5 days a week. They're out there. Go find them. I'm just not going to put up with it. I got a life. I got stuff I want to do. If I get around to it, I'll do it. If I don't, I won't. That's just the way it is. Now, if 5 or 6 different sponsors come in there and start basically providing me a way to make a living just making film study videos the way they do on the radio, then I'll do it. I might consider it. Until then, man, just chill out. Ready Teddy on the Country Pleasing text line says, Matt, you could stop and pick me up on the way to New Orleans. Where are you, Teddy? Yeah, Teddy got himself married on Friday. Hats off to you, Teddy. You the man. True Maroon sent us a picture of like a Photoshop mock-up of what Dak would look like in a Saints uniform. That might, is it going to work out? Saints fans don't think it will. Those who pay attention think that the money's not there for the Saints to make something like that happen. And, so we may be several years away. And I think because of Stephen Jones, I think that he really does want to get Dak signed and keep him around. And so we'll have to see. how that all works out. I mentioned this a little bit ago, then I'm coming to the phone line. I went to the MRA and prep game, took the cameras, and I'm one guy, and I used 4 different cameras during the course of the radio show. I'm sorry, during the course of filming the game. I said radio show. During the course of filming the game, I used 4 different cameras, including 1 flying camera. But come here, Mary Liddy. Mary Liddy just got home from school. How was school today? It was good? All right. I love you. All right. I'll see you there in a minute. Tall thing. Growing tall. But anyway, went to the MRA game, MRA versus Prep on Friday night, and just had a blast. The people in MRA are so nice, and I just enjoyed it. You know, the facilities are absolutely first class and clean and sharp, and 2 really good football teams. MRA got the better of it. 50-24 was the final. But everything there, the atmosphere, and it's just, I could not have enjoyed it more. And my hat's off to them. They do really do a phenomenal job. You had a little bit of time before the game also, JB, to talk with both of the coaches, talk with Coach Herbert Davis for a little while before the game, and then also talk with Ricky Black at Prep. Coach Black was a tight ends coach at Mississippi State for a couple of years when I was in college years ago, and that's the first place I got to know him, think a lot of him. And I got to talk to his wife, Linda, who was there, and they have a really neat story. You know what he told me, JB?
Tell me.
He told me that his wife has attended this is his 50th year in coaching.
Right.
She has attended every game he's ever coached.
That's pretty strong right there.
Is that not unreal?
Yeah, it is.
I was like,
because you would think with the children or something there would have been a time when she stayed at home with one of them or whatever. But
I know. Hey,
look, man, I tell you, that is a throwback to my parents' generation, and they were just. I mean, it was a different kind of upbringing. Right. And things stick with you. Like I saw somebody here earlier on the text line, been married 60 years.
Wow, 60
years.
Isn't that awesome? That's just incredible. Okay,
well, you said it. They gave each other the same card.
They did. My neighbors, again, they're about 35 yards that way is their yard, and they're big Arkansas fans. And they had their 60th wedding anniversary back at the end of the summer. There was a sign out in their yard, you know, and I was talking to him, and he said, yeah, he said, we got each other cards for our anniversary. We gave them to each other, and it was the same card. They bought each other the same card. It's just fantastic. And she was out, bless her heart, yesterday walking in the neighborhood, and she had on a Razorbacks shirt on, displaying it proudly after a couple of wins over State and Ole Miss this year. About time for them, huh? All right, Jeff, if you can hang on, I'll come to you in just a sec, if you can hang tight. Right after this. I'm Matt, outdoors in the Farm Bureau studio. Stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
Bull. There's a lot of that out there in the wireless world. But C Spire believes that you deserve a plan that is what it actually says it is. Here's the real deal. The best plan for 1 or 2 lines. Unlimited talk and text with 10 gigabytes of high-speed data. And here's the real deal. $45 per line with autopay and paperless billing. Even without autopay, it's just $50. Now, how's that for the fine print? No bull. That's the real deal. Switch to C Spire today at cspire.com/real deal. C Spire, customer inspired. Man, that sounds like summertime in Mississippi, doesn't it? You know what else just screams summertime in Mississippi? Country Pleasin' sausage from Country Meat Packers in Florence. Check me out. Jalapeno and cheddar. Just got it at Kroger in Tupelo where I live. On grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Cut it up, throw it in the frying pan, put it on a bun. Get some andouille, make some gumbo. It is the best sausage you've ever put in your mouth. Country Pleasin' sausage, countrypleasin.com. It is made up of hand-picked hams, bacon, and pork loin. That's why it tastes so good. I even got this cool hat from them. Check them out. Go by the butcher shop there in Florence, or order it online, or look for it in grocery stores. Walk up in there and say, Country Pleasin', please.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing for 2020 that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wyatt stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, and it's dirty as all get out. But this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys are the first one.
Right now! You got the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
All right, hour 3 of the show presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville. Overstreet Properties at overstreetproperties.com. If you're moving to Starkville, headed up there for several weekends for ball games, so it's a permanent place to live, maybe temporary, like getting a condo that's yours when you come into town, or investment property, anything like that. Go to Overstreet Properties in Starkville. overstreetproperties.com. All right, Davini Equipment phone line, Jeff and Brandon patiently waiting. Jeff, thanks for your patience, man. What's up?
Hey, Matt, listen, I just wanted to holler at you and say that I'm really, really enjoying the high school pieces you're doing, man. It just takes you back and it makes you think about those good days, and you do such a good job with it. And I've turned a bunch of my buddies on to it, and I really, really enjoy it.
Thank you.
Also, you were talking about, your YouTube, your show and everything. Can't you also get your show on the Out of Bounds app? Doesn't it do all the programming for 105.9 all day long?
Yes. The Out of Bounds, for Bo's show in the morning. And he has a great app, and they just updated it. I noticed it has a new look to it. And I think it's just like if you search for it in the App Store, I think it is just the Out of Bounds app, and you see it, OOB. But yeah, it works great because on his app, not only can you stream his show, but any show, any programming that's happening here at the Zone throughout the day, you can stream it live on his app right there. It's a great way to do it. And I use it sometimes when I'm out and about and I want to, tune into his show or Brooks. That's one of the routes that I go.
Good deal. All right, man. I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good day.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you. Yeah, lots of ways to get the content. And nowadays, it really is about – I think we as people, we are just accustomed to – we're not going to be told where we have to go and get a show or watch a show or listen to it. We're not going to be told. It just better be wherever we want it, right? And so you got to have it everywhere. That's kind of the way it is. All right, Bulldog West, Country Pleasing text line, says, any word on what's up with Kylan Hill? Well, no word here on this Monday. Somebody was asking on the live stream about the availability of Kylan Hill and the fact that there's no press conference today for Mike Leach. Well, there wasn't one canceled. There's just this is an open date for the team, so they don't have Monday, regular press conferences on Monday or Tuesday of the week of an open date. So because it's an open date, there is no press conference, so there will be no official update today or anything like that. As far as what's up with Kylan Hill, not injury related that I know of, not like sickness or COVID related that I know of, just strictly a disciplinary thing, and was not available for the ball game, not dressed out, not there this past week. Don't quote me on this, but I think in the post game, I think I overheard one of the guys ask Mike Leach about Kylan Hill going forward, and his answer was something like, well, we'll see, or we have to see when the Alabama week rolls around. So I just don't know. I don't know what his availability is going to be going forward. I have no earthly idea. If I find anything out, I'll let you know. Talking about driving versus flying, CWR on the Country Pleasing text line said, and Matt, you need the leg space, so driving is certainly better than flying for you. And that's the truth. I've been on some planes that seem to have more leg space, and I'm not talking about a first-class seat. I'm talking about coach. It seems like recently there was a brand new Southwest huge airliner, that I got on it, and every seat had a little extra leg room. But yeah, man, I cannot stand having my knees crunched up in, sitting there and can't move. I just hate it. Hate it.
Especially if you're sitting by the window and then you have to get up and go urinate.
Right. Well, see, and what I do is I'm like, it's so much, in those situations, it's so much trouble to have to get up and go and then come back. I just hold it.
Yeah, well, sometimes holding just don't work.
Sometimes you can't hold it.
I got to go, man.
Yeah, I understand that. But to me, 7 or 8 hours in the car, I'll do it. That ain't nothing. That's just a work day. Just drive and think. I'd much rather drive than fly. Jason in Flagstaff. And plus I see things that I hadn't seen. I learn about geography. Jason in Flagstaff says, I drive from Arizona to Mississippi and back. It's about 22 hours. I can fly pretty cheap, and I'm not afraid of flying. I just prefer to kick up the music and see what there is to see. That's the way I am. It's almost like a mini adventure. Blake on the live stream says, emergency exit seat for me in coach at 6'5". And that's kind of the way I am. I'm tall, and if I can ever get exit seats, but a lot of people, have already gobbled those up by the time I make the flight plans. And a lot of the flying I've done over the last 10 years has been with the Mississippi State team. Well, they got guys that are a lot bigger than me that have to play a game, so they get the exit seats. Not me. It crammed me in the back of the plane. I'm sick of it. I'm driving everywhere from here on out. I don't want to fly. And I'm not getting on little airplanes either. Not doing it. I ain't doing it. I ain't getting on no little airplane. Promise you. And you go, well, Matt, you definitely are like BA from the A-team. You're scared of flying. It's not so much that. It's just it doesn't make sense to me. And here's one of the reasons it doesn't make sense. Any day of the year, right now, do it right now. Go to Google. Get on Google right now and Google these words. Small plane crash. 365 days a year you can find one. Now that's not the case with the big ones. They never crash, hardly ever. When they do, it's bad, but they hardly ever do.
Yeah.
300.
Not to be laughing when they usually crash. There's 400 or 500 people on them.
That's exactly right. See, so it evens out. We have 5. Any day of the year, Google the words small plane crash. You can find one every day of the year. You ain't putting me on one. It's dumb. Well, convenience, and it's pretty cool, and people think you're great and you're wealthy if you fly. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Not getting me on it.
Yeah.
That way, well, your drive is going to be 6. You could fly there in an hour. Yeah, and guess what? In the third hour of that trip, when my alternator goes out, I will pull over and call someone. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? All right, Coffee Norman says, good rant, bro. It's your show. I'm not kidding. I was cheering you on. Deep breath and small sips of coffee. I got a little bit left right here in the mug from High Point Roasters.
You got to be ready because finish strong today because Jake Wim has come in with his hat turned backwards looking like Carson Wentz. He's ready to take names and you know what.
That doesn't make any sense. If you have hair like that, wear no hat. Do not wear hats with hairs like that. I'm a poet and don't know it. True Maroon says the MRA video was amazing. Thank you very much. Trey says, I think I'd take Herbert Davis over Mike Leach right now.
Can't have him. Deion's already got him.
Deion's already locking him up, according to rumor and innuendo. Matt, who picks out the uniforms from week to week? Just curious. That's from Jay. And he says, Hail State. I don't know who does it. I don't have the slightest idea who picks out the uniforms. State Grad 98 says, when are you going to have your own football video game? John Madden wouldn't fly, and he got his own. State Grad 98. Well, maybe when I get to John Madden's level, I can buy my own bus with my picture on the side of it and a driver and just RV throughout the entire country.
Sponsored by C Spire and Country Pleasing and Divinity.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But see, there's this thing called ROI, JB.
Yeah.
And I think at this point I still have some work to do to convince everybody of what that return on investment would be.
And you're better than a lot of people.
Well, and I don't know. I kind of like driving.
Yeah, I get that about you. I picked up that vibe from you on Friday. As you were getting in your car and I was walking to mine, I said, I bet that dude really likes just getting out and just cruising.
I do. I like driving. I see stuff. I'm like Jason. Just about every trip I make, not with my family because my wife would not put up with this, but when I'm by myself, just about every trip I make, I find roads off the beaten path just to see new stuff. I drive through the country. I've hit dirt roads before and get turned around. I like to see stuff, learn stuff that I haven't seen before. You can't see anything from an airplane.
It all looks the same, doesn't
it? Yeah. It really does.
From 30,000 feet.
The real Eric says statistically it's safer to fly than drive. You know what, real Eric? That's the dumbest stat there is. The dumbest stat there is. You know what that's like doing? That's like saying, hey, you're on the golf course. You're on the golf course. And it starts thundering a little bit. Starts thundering just a little bit right there. That's like saying, hey, go down in the ditch and hold that golf club straight up in the air. Because statistically, you're less likely to get struck in the ditch than if you're standing up there on the tee box holding your golf club straight up in the air. That's about what that is, statistically.
Or go stand by a tree with that club out.
See, that statistic assumes that everybody is as safe a driver as I am. That is not the case. There's more cars. Statistically, it's safer to fly than drive. It is in a big airliner with no leg room. Not in the little planes. Now, my man Jay rolled his eyes because he wants me to find out who picks out the uniforms from week to week. The problem, Jay, is I don't care enough to find out. I would tell you to get on Twitter and tweet either at Mississippi State Football or at someone in marketing like Leah Beasley, maybe even John Cohen. You tweet it at John Cohen. He may give you the answer. Some of those people know and could just easily send you the answer right on back. If you've already tried that and gotten no response, then apparently they don't care either. All right. Boys and girls, great Monday reaction show. I have enjoyed it, and we'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. See you then.